Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim Poster. I'm a Filipino American and I was diagnosed with BPD in 2009. I'm recording with my headphones again because my laptop is in the room and I can't get into the room right now, so I'm using my phone. Sorry if I sound weird. Sorry if I sound like my nose is plugged up. I also have allergies today. Anyway, this video is going to be about suicidal ideation. I am not really suicidal anymore, though I do have intrusive thoughts when I don't feel well, especially when I have arguments with people that I care about. That tends to lead me to feel a lot of shame. So I start to have um, like weird thoughts like, oh, maybe it would be great if I didn't exist right now. But they are a lot different from when I was actually suicidal back in like 2010, when I would actually like think about ways that I could die. And I am happy that I've recovered. I don't really know how to give advice about how to deal with suicidal ideation. I know that it was a gradual process, and the reason why I got better is because I started to open up to people in my life and I started to feel that I could trust them. And because I had these relationships, I had a reason to live. Um, and and it wasn't just the relationships that gave me this sense of self and a meaning to life. It was also building my relationship with myself. So it's not that like once these relationships go away, I'm going to have these suicidal ideations. I think that I've reached a point in recovery where I'm able to feel like my life is worth living, even when I have these really unpleasant experiences, such as altercations and like being disappointed in myself, stuff like that. So I will just talk about my experience with the suicidal ideation and how I used to be when I was planning to do it. There was one point in time where I was going through like different relationships. My life was so chaotic at this time because I was seeing like multiple people, and I would have like a weird attachment to each of these people, even if I didn't actually like want to be in an official relationship with them. But because I was like experiencing intimacy with them, feel like I would feel like abandoned whenever they would leave, which would confuse me a lot because I don't know, like I never admitted to myself that I had feelings, but I think having BPD, it just made me want to cling to whoever was giving me that intimacy and that stimuli. So there was a point where I was seeing someone from New York and he was visiting me. And it was just like fun and games, friends with benefits type of thing. But for some reason, when he went back to New York, I felt really empty and depressed and ashamed because I didn't want to have deep feelings for someone. And looking back now, I don't think I did have deep feelings for him, but it was just the feeling of abandonment that pushed me to like really want to hurt myself. And I wanted to like plan to kill myself because not only was I feeling abandoned, but I also had to go back to my normal life without like this distraction to kind of soothe me. And my normal life was really chaotic back then. I was super impulsive. I was just doing any type of drug I could get my hands on. And I had this like plan to impulsively kill myself by like overdosing on my medication. And it was really impulsive, and I'm kind of laughing at it now because it's so absurd. Like, what happened was, so the guy left, and I was so empty that I didn't want to feel anything anymore. So I was like, I need a distraction. I need a distraction. So I called my friend, and she didn't answer, and that made me feel even more abandoned. And I was like, fuck, people really aren't like, they're not here for me, and I have no point to live. So I like was so dramatic. I went to a fucking cemetery and I like listened to music, and I was so alone, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna take my pills, overdose, see what happens. Hopefully I die. So I had this plan to do it that night, but I was like, my vanity kept me from doing it immediately. And I was like, well, if I'm going to have a funeral, I really want to make sure that I look good. So I was fucking vain enough to like go take some professional photos that day before actually committing suicide. And I think I look damn good in those photos. And I just think it's funny that I didn't want to kill myself until I made sure that I looked hot at my own funeral. Anyway, when I tell this story to other people, they're like, some of them laugh, some of them are like, oh my God, and they feel really bad for me. But I actually think it's funny. I know that it's dark. I know that this isn't healthy, but I have to laugh at my traumatic past sometimes. Otherwise, I'm just going to be crying all the time. So, anyway, I took the photos, right? And then while I was at the photo shoot thing, my friend calls me back, and I'm like, oh my God, she cares about me. Somebody cares about me. And I had like someone to hang out with. So I think if I didn't get that phone call, I would have like, I don't know what I would have done that night. But that's my story. And that was like the closest I've came. Other than that time, I never made a plan after that time. I just had like feelings of like wanting to be hit by a car, wanting to jump off a bridge. I would feel that a lot in college. I remember just like looking down from the parking lot bridge and like wondering what it would be like if I just jumped off right now because I hated my life so much. Um, and yeah, I've been through some dark times, and it's kind of therapeutic to look back at them and realize that I don't feel that way at all anymore. And it's really baffling to me a little bit, like that I've come so far. What I can say is what helped me was like having at least one person to open up to be vulnerable with, and someone that I was close enough with to just admit, like, hey, I'm splitting on you right now, and being able to work through it. Because a lot of the times before, I didn't have that luxury of trusting anyone. So when I would split on them, I would, of course, distance myself or be very mean to them, talk shit about them, and this would push people away. So when I finally like became friends with my husband, it wasn't easy at first. Like I know that adjusting to someone with borderline is hard because we think about things so differently, in the sense that we are very sensitive and we can go from 0 to 100. At the beginning, like he wasn't this perfect person either. He wasn't always validating. He, in fact, called a lot of my triggers stupid and dumb, which caused fights. So we had to work through like so many huge arguments to get to where we are now. And I think a huge part of my recovery is having him in my life throughout all these years. He's seen me at my worst and he's seen me at my best. And hopefully I stay here and I keep getting better. And if I'm gonna give some advice about suicidal ideation, it has some similarities to when you're getting over the urge to self-harm. So what I experience now is I may have a fleeting thought about like wanting to die when I feel bad, but I can recognize it as just a thought, like a knee jerk reaction that comes up when I feel like I want to explode. I don't want to be in my body experiencing all these fucking emotions, because it is that intense when you have BPD. It's like, it's very, I can't even put it into words how intense it is, and I just want to leave my body. So I do have a fleeting thought like, oh, what if I just died right now? But now when I have it, there's a part of me that's like really cognizant of what I'm experiencing. And I think, oh, I am experiencing a really bad time right now. I'm dysregulated. I'm experiencing a something really traumatic. And it doesn't have to make sense. I just have to accept that it's happening. And this is a knee jerk reaction. I have thoughts of hurting myself sometimes. I have thoughts of wanting to die, but eventually I know it will go away. So you have to really practice talking to yourself through this. And if you're not used to doing this yet, it's going to feel weird, but take it from me, the more and more I've done it, and it took me years to do this. Now I just recognize it as like some kind of like some kind of hiccup in my brain. It's not really me wanting to hurt myself, wanting to die, wanting to commit suicide. It's just like a hiccup that happens because of all the years that I've been coping through my BPD tendencies. And yeah, like needing to escape, needing to leave my body has always been like this kind of emergency exit, and that's why it comes up in my head. But the more and more I experience years of recovery, I think that that will happen less. And I think that it will happen less for you too once you start just talking yourself through these urges. Anyway, I think this video is a little too long now, and I need to go eat breakfast. So I will talk to you guys in my next video. Please, please, please think about becoming pen pals. I really love hearing your feedback, and I love helping people throughout their days. So message me whenever you want, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.